Welcome once again back to South Coast Radio, and today we are honored to be joined by South African gospel artist Fabian Nathan, whose journey is one of faith, perseverance, and the incredible grace of God. Originally from Cape Town, Fabian's love for music began at a young age, inspired by a family where worship was part of everyday life. Over the years, he has sung with several well known gospel groups before stepping into his solo ministry. Now he's back with a powerful new single titled He Is So Good, a deeply personal song that shares his testimony of God's mercy, grace, and the second chance that completely transformed his life. So let's welcome Fabian Nathan. How are you doing, Nathan?
Hi, man. I am very well, thank you. It's such an honor for me to be here to have this conversation with you.
Awesome, Fabian. It's really great to have you with us on South Coast Radio today. So let's start at the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood in Cape Town and how your love for music first developed?
Well, my childhood in Cape Town was a bliss, thinking about it now. But then again, I can't compare my childhood here to any other area, so it was good.
Yeah.
The other thing is, when it comes to music, my mom used to love music and she used to sing all the time. She had this hardcover book where all her favorite hymns was in, and my daddy used to work out a lot, so most of the time we were together, and when she started singing, we would all just sit around her and she would express how she feels at that moment. Like she wrote the songs herself, man. So that is the thing that I grew up with. Yeah, music is the key, man. It helps.
True. Yes, indeed. And that's really great to hear, Fabian. And so you've spoken about how your parents played a big role in your musical journey, especially those special family worship moments at home. How did those experiences shape the person and musician you are today?
Well, for me, it was the togetherness, man, as a family. And my daddy used to play guitar, my mommy was singing, and no matter what you experienced during the day, that was one of the most exciting moments of the day, except for the fact when it was your turn to, do a scripture and expand on it. That was tricky. But the singing part is what we lived for, man. It's what encouraged you that evening, that warmth, of being together. And I've been carrying that with me ever since.
That's really awesome, Fabian. And you spent many years singing with groups like Kenny Gambo, Voices, His Men, and One Voice. What are some of the biggest lessons you learned from those experiences?
Well, it's, when you solo, you're on your own. But when you're in a group, it's all about the other people around you, man. So the most important thing for me and what I've learned is respect for other people. When there's a practice, be on time. When you have a rehearsal, go and do your work at home and be on time. Don't waste anybody's time.
Exactly.
And what we've experienced is, what I've experienced is, once that is there, you're a powerful ministering tool, because it just helps, man,
That's 100% correct, Fabian, and I would agree with that as well. That's great stuff. So after stepping away during the COVID-19 period, you eventually began focusing on your own music and ministry. What inspired you to take that step?
Well, COVID-19 was bad for the entertainment industry. We couldn't go anywhere, right? We couldn't do the thing that we love, and that is to encourage people and you be among other people. So my daddy got sick, and he actually had COVID-19.
Sure.
And this one night, he started coughing and he was really sick, and we didn't really realize how sick it was. But this specific night, he started praying, coughing, and he started praying, and he started off like, in a certain range, but then just after a while it became more intense, man. And we were all in the house, my brothers and my sister, and the house is dark, and he's praying. It's like this man is he's fighting for his life, man.
Sure.
And without us knowing, we were all laying there awake, but we didn't know that. I didn't know that my brothers were awake. It's only after the fact that when we spoke about it and what we experienced, that we came to realize that we were all awake and we were interceding with him. Now, the most stunning thing is the next day, the afternoon, my daddy was all well. He was up walking in the house. He was cracking jokes and laughing loud, man, and it was like this thing never happened. So what we experienced in that moment, was so amazing. And I told myself, look, maybe it's time for you to tell your story. Go out and tell your story, because this is amazing. The God that we serve, he just proves himself over and over, and he doesn't have to.
True.
But still he does. And that just pushed me over the line.
Wow, that's really amazing to hear, Fabian. And so let's talk about your brand new single, He Is So Good. What inspired the song, and what message do you hope listeners receive from it?
First of all, never give up, man. Never give up. That's the message, because I found myself at a point where I felt like giving up, and I had to do a SWOT analysis, like a situation analysis, to find out exactly, is this beneficial? Me following him, is it beneficial? What's the benefit of it? And what I realized was, as I listed the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, I realized that a lot of weaknesses became strengths, and a lot of threats became opportunity. And it was during that time, when I look back, I could see the goodness of Abba in my life, and that is where the song was born.
Yeah.
Because I can say he was so good, but he is so good. And he doesn't need permission to be good. That's just his nature, man.
Yeah.
And that was my realization. Yeah.
Awesome, Fabian. And this song is especially meaningful because it's connected to your own testimony of overcoming addiction and experiencing God's saving grace. How important was it for you to share that part of your story?
Well, it's my love story with the King. Everything stems from that moment. And earlier I was talking about COVID-19.
Yeah.
I was also at a point where I struggled to breathe, and I was choking on a bathroom floor, and the only thing that I remembered was the Sunday school prayer. And he listened, man. He stooped down to my level, and he reached up and he picked me up, man. And that for me is profound. And that's where this whole new journey started for me. So whenever I get the opportunity, that's where everything comes from. I cannot stop talking about it.
Wow, really awesome, Fabian. And so one of the standout lyrics says, "Put your hands in his hand and you'll get the victory." What does that message mean to you personally?
Well, when you're on the point of losing your life because you can't breathe, man, you don't have a choice. And your only choice is given to you, and it means surrender.
Yeah.
It means surrender all. So when you put your hands into his hand, you're saying that it's not my will, not my way, but your way, Abba.
Yeah.
Get me out of this. I don't know where to go. And that's the moment when the healing starts. When we realize that our source cannot be ourselves. Our source is divine, He's Abba, He's Father, and that was the chains, and that's what it's all about for me personally. Yeah.
Fantastic, Fabian. So now you wrote and produced the song together with Craig Pinar. What was it like working together, and how did that collaboration help bring the song to life?
Wow, when I wrote it, I started off with a verse and a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to him and I played it for him in a voice note. And after a couple of days, I asked him, what he thinks, and he told me, Fabian, I'm struggling to connect to the song. And another couple of days went by, and I'm like, oh, what's going to happen here now? And so with lots of prayer, I could finish the second verse, and I sent that to him too. And again, lots of prayer, because look, he told me he's struggling to connect to the song.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after a week or so, almost a month, he sent me something back, and he came up with the bridge part of it, and that was the indication to me. Okay, so something happened, and it went from there. We had a couple of talks.
Mm-hmm.
Thing about Craig, he gets me, man, and that's how everything materialized. And I mean, if I look back now and I listen to the song, wow, God can.
Amen.
That's all I can say.
That's absolutely true, Fabian. 100%. That's true. And also, so you've said this time it's personal as you continue your journey. What role do you hope your music will play in encouraging people who may be going through difficult seasons?
Telling a story is important. We don't know what it's going to do to somebody else.
Yeah.
But I know music has got this way of connecting us, man. Music has got this way of getting our attention and changing our moods and our opinions, But when it comes to the ministry, I'd also like, it's personal, man. You can't just do something and talk about it and not be actively involved, because many times there are so many people with heartache, there's so many people struggling out there, and if I can contribute in any way, physically, practically, being involved, even if it's just a prayer, that's what I'm talking about, man, ministry, a heart, giving of yourself to others. It makes a huge difference, because we live in a world where we are so selfish, and that's promoted. And so when I talk about it's personal this time, that's what I'm talking about. The opposite, giving of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Fabian. Now, as you continue growing as a solo artist and minister, what can listeners look forward to from Fabian Nathan in the future?
Look, there's always plans, but what I've realized, it's kind of expensive to record, so
True.
I'll continue with whatever God allows me to do. If He allows me to record singles and that's what He wants me to do, then I'll do that. If He grants me the opportunity to record an EP or an album, that is what I'll do. But I will continue to do what I must do and what He allows me to do, and if it means recording singles, I'm already finishing I'll finish with my next single. So that's how it goes, man. Whatever God makes possible, that will happen.
And with Him, all things are possible. So you can expect anything,
Yeah, true.
Awesome. Okay, so before we let you go, what word of encouragement would you like to share with someone listening today who may feel like they've gone too far or lost hope?
Whoa. I can only talk about the stuff that worked for me. I always recommend the Bible.
Yeah.
I always recommend Exodus 20. God called Moses up to this mountain and He gave him the 10 commandments, which He wrote with His finger. And now the first 4 of it God tells him how He wants to be worshipped. And the other 6, He tells Moses how He wants us to live with one another. How we treat one another. And that's His way. So if you feel hopeless today, maybe you're going through a divorce, maybe you're at the point of considering suicide, maybe you caught up in an addiction of any sort. It needs to start internally, And once that has happened, reach out, because our God, He works through people. There are many gifted, talented people in spheres that can only be beneficial to us. So we need to take the courage and acknowledge that we're wrong and we have issues, and go and ask for help.
Yeah.
That's the only way we heal, you know?
True. That's absolutely correct, and great stuff, Fabian. Just one more question before we close off, just out of the bag. So, where can the listeners find your music as well as He Is So Good, and also follow you online?
Well, I'm on Spotify, it's iTunes, it's Apple Music, it's Amazon Music, all the big downloading platforms. You search, you put in Fabian Nathan, you'll find it there. Then also social handles on Facebook at Fabian Nathan or Fabian Nathan Music. YouTube Fabian Nathan Music, Fabian Nathan, Instagram Fabian Nathan, TikTok Fabian Nathan. But I'm more active on Facebook and YouTube, you know? Yeah.
Awesome. Fabian, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing both your journey and your powerful testimony. It's really an honor and a privilege having you with us today on South Coast Radio.
Wow, thank you, Ryan. You made this possible. I want to thank you and the listeners that took the time out, you know, and I trust that the song will be a blessing.
Most definitely it will, and you're most welcome. And also to the listeners, this is once again South African gospel artist Fabian Nathan sharing his inspiring story and introducing his powerful new single called He Is So Good. And if you're looking for a song that reminds you of God's faithfulness, mercy, and the hope of new beginnings, be sure to stream He Is So Good, now available on all major digital music platforms.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.